What's up, guys? Artem MMA Analysis here. Going to be talking about Khamzat Chimaev versus Nate Diaz. I'm about 5 days late from the fight announcement, but it is what it is. It's about time I made a video on it. I have actually finished all of my preparation for UFC 277, but those videos, man, they take me so long to record, upload, and edit. It takes me about 3 hours, and it's about 8 PM now, so by the time I finish doing all that, it'll probably be a bit too late, and I'll have to go to sleep. And I've had like no sleep in the last 2 days, so that's my excuse. You're gonna get that tomorrow. But yeah, Khamzat Chimaev versus Nate Diaz was booked. It's the headliner for UFC 279. I genuinely believe that this is a big test to see how much of a pay-per-view draw is Khamzat Chimaev. You know what I mean? Like, Nate Diaz is a pay-per-view draw himself. He sees headline a few good pay-per-views with Conor McGregor, sold massive numbers there. But Khamzat Chimaev as well, you know, he's a rising star. He's a guy that the UFC obviously wants to win. I apologize for all my movement, but my dog is actually chewing on my sock right now. But yeah, I think it's a test, man. I think Khamzat Chimaev's going to win. I don't think that's going to be a secret, but yeah, before we kind of get back into the matchup, hope you guys don't mind if I talk about UFC 279 and the absolute state that it is in right now, because there are 9 fights announced. Only like 2, maybe 3 of them are main card pay-per-view fights. We desperately need more matchups, and they're just not happening. The UFC really needs to start working overtime on this one here. The fights are in about 9 weeks, 10 weeks or so, and you've got like 2 or 3 main card fights. Obviously, you got the main event, Chimaev versus Diaz, but then you got Abdurakhimov versus Jailton Almeida. Like, that's a borderline main card pay-per-view fight, and then you've got Johnny Walker versus Ion Cutelaba, which I think is going to end up being on the main card. So you got 2 more fights that you really desperately have to add, and the 2 fights that I'm kind of thinking about that you add onto this card is potentially you add Mikhail Pereira versus Stephen Thompson. I think Mikhail Pereira versus Stephen Thompson is like an interesting matchup that I think a lot of people are going to want to see. I feel like a lot of casual fans will notice Stephen Thompson's name and they'll know who he is. I think a lot of casual fans will maybe even notice Mikhail Pereira's name and know who he is. But the big one that is rumored, that Dustin Poirier, I believe, rumored, I think it might have been Michael Chandler that rumored it, but Poirier versus Chandler, we know, is definitely kind of in the works. And if it's in the works for something, it has to be in the works for UFC 279. Because if you think about it, the press conference will be quite good. You know, you've got Nate Diaz on there, Dustin Poirier on there in the press conference. Diaz and Poirier will be talking to each other. Khamzat Chimaev might end up talking to Chandler and Poirier, but we know that Diaz is going to be talking to Chandler and Poirier and talking smack about them, maybe talking a little bit of smack about Chimaev as well, but yeah, man, I completely brushed over it. Diaz as well, this is his last fight on his contract. There's rumours going around that his contract actually expires in 4 months' time, so maybe he's accepted this fight. He's gonna pull out of the fight with an injury to like really say like stuff you to the UFC, man. Maybe that even happens. I don't think it will. I think we see Diaz show up. I think he's going to show up. He's going to earn a lot of money for the pay-per-view main event for sure. But it'd be interesting to see how much this card sells, because there's not a lot of star power on the card. All you've really got is Nate Diaz and Chimaev. If you put Poirier and Chandler on there, that's a lot of star power, to be fair. But I feel like you're missing like 1 or 2 huge fights to add to a card that hasn't got a title fight on it for sure for a pay-per-view anyway. But I'm picking Chimaev. The guy's only 28 years old, and obviously he's a rising star. The UFC wants to see him do well. He's undefeated. He's going to beat Nate Diaz. He's probably going to finish him too, is my prediction. I think he stops Nate Diaz within like 3 rounds. Everyone seems to bring up the Nate Diaz versus Rory McDonald fight, where Nate Diaz was getting thrown around by Rory McDonald, who ain't even much of a wrestler, but that was in 2011. Like, that was a long time ago, man. Like, you guys are reaching a little bit there, but I think Khamzat Chimaev is genuinely going to pick Nate Diaz up, put him on the ground and pound him a little bit, look for submissions, this and that, and I think it's going to be over. I said within 3 rounds, but now that I think about it, I think Chimaev's just going to pick him up and toss him around. I think it might be over within 2 rounds. I'm sorry, Nate Diaz. I know he's got really good jiu-jitsu, but who is he really submitted? Oh, sorry, guys. That's going to probably make a lot of loud noise. Who has he really submitted, though, recently? You got to look at recently, guys. You can't look at previously in his career, in my opinion. He beat Anthony Pettis by decision. He submitted Conor McGregor after he rocked him. His last good submission win was in 2012 versus Jim Miller. Man, Nate Diaz just does not fight often, does he? He does not fight often at all. Yeah, man, I've really got to pick Chimaev here. I think there's a lot of questions about this whole pay-per-view card. How much is it going to sell? What are they going to add to it to make it a good pay-per-view card? Of course, Chrome decides to crash, but thankfully I was actually about to do my outro. So that might be it, guys. I'm going to leave you to it there. Chrome has decided to crash on me. My laptop is very frustrating. I think I've burnt it out making all of these videos, but hey man, it is what it is. I'll catch you in the next one. Man, maybe I need to buy a new laptop, hey, and use this one for making videos, my next one for going to university next year. That could be the one. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you very much for making it this far. If you liked the video, please leave a like. My dog is still chewing my sock, so that's fun. I didn't take her to the dog park on the weekend, so she's probably punishing me for that. But as always, man, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm sorry, man, I'm half asleep. I'm actually so tired right now. It's actually crazy. I got no sleep. Woke up at 4 a.m. to watch UFC London, and then yeah, didn't really get too much sleep last night. I went to bed at about 9 p.m. but couldn't get to sleep till 12. Oversharing as always, man. I always overshare at the outro of the video. So if you make it this far, shout outs to you, man. You get to hear my random ramblings about things that just are not MMA related. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, man. Have a great night, whatever you guys are up to. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you have a great week, and hopefully you enjoy UFC 277. I think it's going to be a good card. Man, I'm excited for that. Alright, I'll catch you in the next one.